magnificent move, man.
Thank you.
Hi. What?
Oh!
My gosh, are you...
Kind of got the same shirt on.
Matching. No big deal.
You guys, that's amazing.
We texted each other before the show.
Yeah.
To get it right.
The animals.
I'm so glad I didn't wear your shoes. That'd have been really
That would
awkward.
have been awkward. And, you know, they're too small for you, too.
True.
Congratulations on your large feet.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, we heard you just got back from Indianapolis. You got to do something that I did, which is one of the most incredible things. You got to drive the pace car.
Yes. I drove the pace car, the Brickyard 400. I've never really fully embraced NASCAR. I was like, I knew people were super into it. Like 250,000 people would go see the Indy 500. I never quite got it until I saw it in person and could hear these cars. They are like thunder on wheels, really. Like there's 40 of them or something. They're so loud and so powerful.
Your teeth vibrate.
Yeah, everything in your body vibrates. And they're just ripping past. It was, I'm hooked, man. I cannot wait to take my son to NASCAR. He's gonna love
Oh, my
it.
gosh, that's amazing.
yeah,
I'm glad you had a good experience.
Yeah, thank you, yeah.
Art Moore, that's the biggest NASCAR fan out there.
Yes, this man, this Natalie-attired gentleman, lives for NASCAR.
Yeah.
Lives for NASCAR.
Yeah, he was saying his boy, Jeff Gordon,
Jeff Gordon,
he
yes.
won the Brickyard. He was there and won the thing.
Yes, Jeff is a good friend of the show. We love him here, yeah. Did you meet him at all?
Yeah, we're like best friends now.
You are.
No, we're not. No, he doesn't even know who I am. But when I drove the pace car, I was looking in the rear view mirror, and he was right behind me, like this, swerving back and forth and like almost bumping me.
No kidding.
Yeah, it was pretty exciting. It was pretty exciting.
Amazing.
And you had another cool experience in Indiana. You played football with Andrew Luck from the Colts.
Yeah.
How did that happen, by the way?
Well, you know, Parks and Recreation takes place in a fictional town of Pawnee, Indiana.
Yes.
So we did a road trip episode where the cast of Parks and Rec went into Indianapolis, and we were at Lucas Oil Field, and it was like this sort of wish fulfillment episode for my character where I get to meet the Indianapolis Colts, and I got to play all day on the field and just like kick field goals and play catch, and then Andrew Luck threw like these 40, 45-yard passes, and I was catching them in the end zone for touchdown.
Incredible.
It was unbelievable. I can never go back to Indianapolis. Like I'm treated I can never top the 2 times that I've been there. It was like driving the pace car one time, playing catch with Andrew Luck the next time. I don't know what's gonna happen.
But you played football as a kid, didn't you?
Yeah, I played as a kid. I was like in high school. But the thing is, I had the worst hands of like anybody on the team. I couldn't catch a pass.
Maybe they threw badly.
Yeah,
because
if I
when a professional threw to you, you caught easily for touchdowns, no less.
That's right.
Don't you want to
If I'd have just
tackle
had
him?
Andrew Luck in high school.
Don't you feel the urge to tackle him?
Well,
Come on.
his poor high school quarterback is going, no, he just can't catch.
Yeah, that's true. I just had the worst hands. I don't know how they pulled it. I pulled it off. They were like, Chris, you need to catch a pass in the end zone. I was like, oh, good, yeah. In my head, I'm like, yeah, this is gonna be so embarrassing. You're on camera. How many times do you have to get it right? And I caught all of it, and they were like, I caught them all, and they were like, dude, you're so good at football. I was like, oh yeah, like I really good. I just got so lucky. It was amazing.
You were more surprised than they were.
Yeah, I kind of just closed my eyes, and then the ball was in my hands like 5 times in a row. He's pretty good, though. He does put it right in the pocket. It was pretty sweet.
You know, every actor that comes on our show always has like a unique story about how they got discovered or how they got into the business. And I think your story about how you got discovered is the most interesting I've ever heard. Would you tell the audience your story?
Yeah, I was living in Maui. I was essentially living in a van with some buddies of mine, and was waiting tables at the Bubblegum Shrimp Company. Thank you. Fantastic place. Go check it out. It's in Times Square. When you get done here, run over to Bubblegum's. I owe them my career, essentially. I was waiting tables, and I waited on this director, Ray Dawn Chong. She's an actress.
Yes.
You know her. I was like, you're a movie star. And she said, you know what? You're cute. Do you act? I was like, oh, yes, I do. Yeah, you should put me in a movie. And she essentially, you know, she was 4 days away from shooting a movie, and the guy who was going to play the lead had fallen out of her movie, and so she gave me an audition, and I auditioned, and I went from living in a van in Maui and waiting tables to, you know, living in a car in Beverly Hills and waiting tables. Eventually, I became an actor.
man. That's an incredible story.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
And Ray Dong Chong is like gorgeous, the most gorgeous.
Yeah, she is inside and out. She's just like a guardian angel. She just kind of came into my life and cracked the door open a little bit, and you know, damned if I was going to let it close.
We're going to take a quick break, man. When we come back, we're going to talk to Chris about how he had to transform his body to play an action hero in Guardians of the Galaxy. So don't go anywhere.
Of Guardians of the Galaxy, you play Peter Quill.
Yes.
And you are the action hero, right?
Oh man, yeah. This movie is a little different. It's something that unlike anything Marvel's done before. It's an epic space adventure.
Yeah.
And I play a character called Peter Quill. And the story goes, basically at 9 years old, something really traumatic happens to him, and he's essentially abducted and brought out to space. And all he has is like who he was up until he was 9 years old, and he just loved all the movies of the 80s and has all these pop culture references. And he essentially becomes part of this sort of ragtag squad of like losers and misfits out in space who all have this common purpose. It's really, really stunning. Visually just epic, unlike anything that anyone's ever seen, and people are like really buzzing about it because it's, man, I think we got it right. I think it's a really good movie.
And they've already announced that there's a sequel in the works,
they've announced,
which is a great sign.
That's a great sign. And since there's a sequel coming out, I know you had to lose a lot of weight for this role, so now you're gonna have to stay in shape to shoot the sequel. But we have some like before and after pictures.
Oh yeah?
Of you. That was you before.
Yeah.
It's still adorable. Oh my God. Wait, is that your body?
That is it, yes. It's connected to my head.
So like, let me ask you. So men, when they have to cut weight, do fascinating things. Like they cut back on like half and half in their coffee. Is that all it took for you?
Yeah, that was it. Just cut out half and half, and the next day,
that happened.
I was good. No, it was like when I booked the role, it was January, and we had till July when we were going to shoot it. So I had about 6-7 months to get after it. And so, you know, growing up, having played sports, I'm pretty coachable, and I just worked with really closely with a couple of trainers and nutritionists, and they just said, you know, where do you want to be? And I kind of had an idea where I wanted to be, and they just made sure I got there, you know.
What's the one thing you do that you could tell people at home that, like, will get your muscles, because men, you know, when they go on dates or something, they want their arms to look good or their stomach to look good. What's the one thing that will get your muscles popping instantly, right away?
There is nothing that will do it instantly right away, unfortunately.
Push-ups.
Yeah, well, no, you do push-ups. Like, right before that shot, I probably dropped down and did a push-ups, you know? Like, that's the best I've ever looked for just a second. You know what I mean? Like it's all designed towards that one frame. So, you know, that wasn't really what I looked like walking around. It was like the very, very best version of myself, you know?
Well, you know what? Let's take a look at a clip from the movie. Now, in this scene, Zoe Saldana is asking about your Walkman, because you're a superhero who loves your Walkman. You're a musical superhero. The movie is Guardians of the Galaxy. Chris Pratt, everybody.